Welcome back to another episode of the Unlimited Podcast. Today we are joined by actor, producer, lifelong gamer. You know him from True Blood, Magic Mike, Justice League, and of course, all of his legendary work with Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering, my boy, Joe Manganiello.
What's up?
What's going on,
brother?
What's
going on?
It's good to see you, man.
Good seeing you, man. Yeah.
Finally got you in the house, man. My boy's worldwide, traveling all over the place, and just being a gangster, bro.
A lot of travel, but back in LA, and yeah, great to be here during this pocket in LA to hang, man.
Dude, it's been hard. It's been hard to get together and get the games in, man. It's been a while. I feel like
it seems like post COVID, whatever that is, the past couple of years, it seems like everybody's scrambling to get everything done they couldn't, and they're running around a lot. And for me, things have gotten so busy with travel and work. Work came on
big time. Yeah. Talk about some of the projects you've been doing over the last couple of years have been really, really awesome, man. You've had some good stuff going.
Yeah, really great stuff. I mean, Nona's is the number one. Nona's is nominated. The film I did we shot it independently, but then it was bought by Netflix and became the number one streaming movie in the world for a while this summer. It's actually nominated for an Emmy right now.
Really?
So yeah, it's
I
nominated
didn't know that.
For
Congratulations,
best
bro.
television movie, which is funny because we shot it as an independent feature film.
Yeah.
But because it was bought by a streamer and played on streaming, it counts as TV. And then I mean, they haven't announced the exact date, but at some point soon in the new year, One Piece season 2 is going to drop, and which I am a part of.
What role is probably yet to be announced, I'm guessing.
It's been announced. It's out there. It's
okay.
out there.
So,
but they announced it as Mr. Zero. But for everyone that knows the manga and the anime, Mr. Zero is Sir Crocodile.
Yeah.
One of the 7 warlords of the sea. And then, of course, they've announced that season 3 is on the way as well, that has been announced, and I will head back to South Africa to film that.
That's so
which
cool,
is,
bro.
You can only imagine what,
That's so
what we'll
cool,
get up to.
bro. I got chills.
Yeah.
Just like, that's so dope. You
it's
know
dope.
what I mean? Like, One Piece is so legendary, bro.
Yeah.
And you fit that role like fucking, I'm like,
Well,
yes. For so long, it's been Pokemon.
Yeah.
I mean, Pokemon from like a, overall popularity and like, earning and like, it's the biggest IP in the world, Pokemon. Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, and then Yu-Gi-Oh has been that number 3 spot pretty solid for like the last 15 years. One Piece is for sure taking that spot, and it's very healthy. The collectability is super healthy. Obviously, the fandom is nuts.
Yeah.
And it's worldwide. And I've heard that the game is actually really good and very playable, even more so than Pokemon. So
yeah, they're supposed to be making me a deck.
That makes me think, because it just made me think about how Posty did Crick and he did that secret layer.
Right.
Like if anyone could kind of pull that off, I feel like, I
know. I mean,
that'd be sick. How did the One Piece thing kind of come about?
Got a phone call from my agent and said, "Hey, we have this, this offer for you. For this thing called One Piece." And I was like, okay. I'm like, what part? And they're like, it says here Mr. Zero. And I'm like,
so good.
All right. I'll call you back. Let me call you back. So I called my friend and I was like, hey, what can you tell me about Crocodile?
Yeah.
And my friend was like, why? Like immediately, why?
Well, yeah. I mean, he
why?
Had to know, like, why are you asking?
No, wait, what's going on? And I was like, all right, so the showrunner, Matt, wants to meet me, wants to go out to dinner with me and talk to me. He's like, about Crocodile? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh my God. Lost his mind.
Of course.
I love what it's about. I love what the character's about. I love the messaging. I mean, it's just one of those great, great, great properties, man. It's just, and also like the way that they've creatively controlled it, kind of in an era where a lot of my favorite fantasy properties have really been messed around with, seemingly by people who don't like them and want to kind of turn them into something else and make them about something else politically, even, or trying to make statements with these things that they shouldn't be being made,
shouldn't be touched
about all of that. It should be true to the material.
One
And,
Piece has
yeah.
definitely stayed true.
And that's why I think it's worked in a sea of unsuccessful attempts at adaptation for either fantasy or manga anime properties. It's one that works.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because the people that run it love it.
Yeah.
And the creator has creative control. And they've stayed true. They've figured out a way to stay true to that vision rather than do what, you know, Hollywood does a lot, unfortunately, which is, well, it's like this.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like this.
Yeah.
It should be its own thing.
For sure.
And you know, because I've heard that even about Dragonlance. Well, the characters are like this and this. No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're this and this.
Yeah.
Which is something that people haven't seen before. And you just have to allow it to be what it's going to be and breathe and be as weird as it needs to be. But like, you know, you have to have fantasy in your bones. It has to be something that you were obsessed with as a 9-year-old or before.
Yeah.
Fantasy is a lifelong obsession.
For sure.
And now that we have the technology and the CGI to bring fantasy to life, it needs to be in the hands of those people that were like, Mom, Dad, we're on vacation. I know, but we need to stop at this comic book store because I need to run in and get all my monthlies, you know, or
100%.
Or I need to get a pack of cards, or I need to
truly
like,
committed to the nerdy stuff.
when the whole world is like, stop doing that thing. Like it's going to lead to nothing. It's like you don't understand the muse, the obsession, and that's the way fantasy is.
Yeah.
And all too often it's like, let's take this fantasy property and hand it off to somebody who's the hot screenwriter.
Right.
Or the hot director of the moment.
Yeah.
And if you didn't grow up that way, with like against the odds, against everyone else's wishes.
Yeah. I think it's important to really love whatever story it is, and you know.
Yeah, and One Piece works because you feel the love of the people that are creating it.
Yeah.
And they put together a team of people that love it that way. There's a history within fantasy of, you know, working your way up to fight the boss. Like, you've got to train.
Yeah.
You've got to get better. You got to work hard. You've got to become the hero. And it also is forgiving for the fact that, like, every hero doesn't start off the hero.
No. Most of the time they don't.
No.
Yeah.
And the greatest stories are the ones where they go through this hero's journey and transform into the one who then can't stand up to the boss.
People love the training arcs. I love the training arcs. Like I love those parts of all the animes, bro. So
and it's a good message, I think, and it's aspirational to kids to know that, like, it's going to take work.
Yeah.
And it's going to take failure, and it's going to take falling on your face. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get there in the end.
Absolutely.
And to idolize characters like that, rather than, I think there's all too often, like, there was a move for a little while, and it's going away now, but there was kind of a move for a while to say that, like, you're just fine the way you are.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's the...
I mean, like, yes, I love you no matter what.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're still a beautiful person.
But
for sure.
If you want to do something great, you got to work for it. You got to work up to it.
I'm in the belief that everybody should always be trying to improve in all ways.
Yes.
You know, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. I think everybody should aim. Nobody is perfect.
No.
Nobody's perfect. Should you accept the people that you love the way they are?
Yes.
Yes.
Accept
Should
your
everybody
friends.
get the same amount of respect because they're human beings? Yes, 100%. But, like, you're fine just the way you are. Like, you're perfect and you don't need to change in any way.
But you knew that, because if you stepped out on a field and you weren't ready to go, you're going to get your bell rung.
Listen, if you do not do the prep, you could be physically freakish and just be the biggest freak in nature. But if you don't do the prep, the film study, the practicing, your practice habits aren't there, you're not taking care of your body. I have seen some of the most incredible athletes I've ever seen in my life. Like, truly, like, God was like, this one, you're going to be all of the things. And they didn't make it.
But never had to work out.
When I went to Seattle and I played on that defense with just Hall of Famers everywhere.
Legion of Boom.
The whole, the DBs, but Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Bruce Irvin, Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill. The whole defense was crazy. Like, the two deep was was super good. So, and the offense had a bunch of amazing players too. So like when I went there, man, like I really had so many incredible players to learn from.
Yeah.
And I took little pieces like Cam, I took a piece from him and the way that he went to work, and Earl Thomas, the same thing. Everybody taught me certain things, and I think that had a huge effect on the trajectory of my career.
Yeah.
So going into that situation where I wasn't the best D lineman, like they drafted me and like I had to really learn and wait my turn. Did I want it that way? Absolutely not. I want to get on the field immediately. In your mind, you're always a starter. But I learned so much from those guys, so that when I went to other places, people's like that work ethic and all the things that I learned, it translated so well.
Right.
So I'm grateful, super grateful to go in and be on, like, they won the Super Bowl. That Super Bowl team is probably one of the best.
Next year probably should have been back to back.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I kind
of
want to get into that, bro. It's just one of the most painful. I mean, it's so hard to win a Super Bowl, bro.
I know.
It's so hard, and
there.
I was one play away. Like, that Super Bowl is just, I mean, I think it will haunt my, anytime somebody brings it up, I
Sorry.
It's, yeah.
It's all right.
It's, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it.
No, I get it. I mean, there's things like that in my, my business too, where I'm just, like, don't talk to me about that stuff.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I got a package. It's like a, brown box, but it was repurposed from something else. I had all this Japanese writing all over it. And I'm like, what's this?
Yeah.
So it was my hook.
Oh, yeah, that's so sick, bro. Oh my gosh, I'm sure you got to have a special spot for it in the house, huh?
I, like a lot of other people, am notorious for taking stuff home.
Going to your house and seeing that stuff. I mean, I remember the first time I went to your old house and you had that big room set up and we all sat down and played Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, bro. I mean, just like,
that was the first time you played D&D, right?
It was the first. It's the first.
You and
only time. Yeah, it was me, Ryan Shazier,
Greg Gaines.
Greg came through. Greg Gaines. I think Joe was there,
Joe Johnson,
and then one of your buddies
and another buddy of mine. Yeah. And like an executive, but it was like kind of like the pro football.
Yeah, absolutely, for
D&D game, which was kind of great because, and this is kind of going to set the table for, I'm sure, what we're going to talk about a lot. But like, I was head and shoulders bigger than all the other kids growing up.
Yeah,
and
still bigger than me, which is crazy,
So and at 16, I was 6'5", and 3-sport athlete, and now I'm like 6'5", 250, which is like,
it's big, bro.
And when I look at you and my friends who are pro athletes, it's like it's like I would cast you guys as fighters and barbarians in the movie or in the Dragonlance series. You know what I mean? Like, this is what they look like. This is how. And when we got together and played that game, it was awesome because usually when you're a kid, you're 9, 10, 11, 12 years old pretending to be the barbarian.
Right.
You're like, what would it be like if I could be that character? And you guys are like the real deal. You're gladiators out there fighting on Sundays. And, in those pockets where you guys are figuring out what you're going to do next, kind of sit back and be like, oh, this is how the Warriors would talk. This is like legit. So it was awesome
100%.
Running that game for you guys.
100%.
Also to show you that, like, you can do whatever you want.
As an athlete, or whether you're NFL, college, whatever, like if you do athletics at some sort of elite level, you know what it takes to like build yourself up. And also at the same time, like, I think the reason why so many athletes love anime and like fantasy is because most of the stories are like the underdog works his way to the top to just being an absolute beast.
Like you're those dudes. Like, so watching your mentality and how those fed your characters, to me, was awesome.
Yeah, it was sick.
And that's the kind of stuff that I want to watch. The character I made was an elf, because the elves were like a little bit of magic.
Oh,
and
I was
a little bit
dark
of fighting.
Elf. And just remember, I was a dark elf. Okay, go ahead.
I
interrupt. Yeah.
So elves were like a little bit of magic and a little bit of magic and a little bit of fighting.
Yeah.
So you could kind of do both.
Right.
But I didn't like have anybody to play with.
Right.
I didn't know how to run the games at that point.
Right.
So I kept running that solo adventure over and over and over again by myself until I wound up on this island with a group of kids who were into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books.
Okay.
They told me that there was a game, but they didn't know how to play it.
Right.
And so I went to their house and asked if I could borrow the book overnight, and they said sure. And I went home and read this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle role-playing book.
Okay.
And the next day I was like, I think I know what we're supposed to do. And then there was this post-apocalyptic game called Rifts that came after that, and so I ran like post-apocalypse, you know, like Mad Maxy kind of stuff for many years. And then I found the Dragonlance novels, and there were these novels about characters, just books, and I just fell in love with those characters in that world, and always in the back of my mind thought, you know, someday this would make a great movie or a TV series, and I always had that in the back of my mind.
Always had that mind for just like creating stuff, man. That's so cool.
Always.
It's so like, and I like on the other side of it for me, when I was young and I was in card shops, man, I would just sit in there and be like, this could be so much better. Like I could do this better. You know, it's just funny how like your mind works when you're young.
Yeah.
You know, like I had no idea back then, but like the businessman in me was already there.
Right.
And like for you, you know what I mean? The actor, creator, you know,
as a kid,
producer,
it was like
all that was already there.
It was about writing, and it was about story creating and telling long form narrative stories and kind of introducing a character that then would show up, you know, adventures or episodes down the line. It's going to show up here, but he's going to come back here. He's going to come back there.
Right.
Like I was already starting to think in that way. And, you know, the thing about it is when you're a dungeon master, a game master, you are the rest of the world. So it's like you guys go into a tavern. I'm the bartender. I'm the cocktail waitress. I'm the, you know what I mean? I'm the unruly dwarf at the table who's drunk and
the thief
talking
in the
shit.
corner.
Whatever it is.
Right.
I'm the dragon. I'm all of those characters. And so in a funny way, I was, you know, I was learning to build, I was all of these other characters and developing all these voices, which also teaches you as a writer, you know, when you're writing a screenplay or a script or a book, you have to write other people's voices.
So you feel like these role playing games and like gaming in general, like that had to have like influenced you and taught you so much about, you know, what you know, acting and all these things. I mean, it feels like it goes hand in hand for you, man.
You know, I went to a really great acting school. And
which was
the Carnegie Mellon School of Drama.
That's in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh,
right?
there you go.
Shout outs to Pittsburgh.
CMU.
Yeah.
Go Tartans. But yeah, so and I, you know, when I got in, I remember, you know, my father at some point over the years said that he was surprised when I wound up pursuing acting, because you're a director, but he's like, you're a director. You always directed your friends when you played. They'd come over and I'd be like, you're this character. We'd sit around the table and he'd kind of watch me.
Right.
Okay, you're these guys, kind of the way that when you guys came over.
And he would just like kind of watch from a distance, just watch you just.
Why is he an actor when he's running the show for these other people that are acting in the show, you know? And but yeah, like I've talked to a lot of people over the years about you know, guys who grew up playing D&D who are now kind of like the 40 to 60-year-old range that like run Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of actors that really love D&D. I mean,
showrunners, talk show hosts, pro wrestlers, tons of rock stars. Which
makes perfect. Yeah, the musicians really love it. Magic the Gathering too. I've started to learn that there's a lot of musicians and the
Posty,
stuff.
man. We
go
play at Posty's house.
Bro,
I mean, I don't know if you want to get into that now.
Those were some of the most epic nights, but yeah,
dude, rolling up with a big ass security dude at the door going, "What's your name? You on the list?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Joe.
Yeah,
I'm here. Who are you here to see?"
Yeah. Not just one, though.
You know,
not just one big security guard.
There's like
6 of like the bigger Polynesian. I was just like, nobody.
What's your name? Who are you here to see?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, all right, you can come in. I'm like, thank you. And then you go in there, and it's like
all nerds.
It's like a giant Hollywood Hills house off the edge of a cliff.
So good,
with the view that's been rented just to throw a magic party. But like prior to that, I mean, yeah, it was like rock stars, actors, directors, writers, showrunners. Everybody was rolling through my house to play once they heard that I was playing. Because it reignited that creativity it reignited that flame that had sparked in them as kids, that, you know, their parents, whoever is like,
Right.
why don't you go play outside?
Right.
Why are you doing this dumb, weird, why are you wasting your time with this goofy, weird game that you're playing in the back that nobody understands?
That's a really funny concept. The parents like hating on the nerdy stuff and just like feeling like it's such a huge waste of time. For you, obviously, it led to so much success, but like for the people who were into like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, and they were into collecting these cards, especially on the Pokemon side, a lot of parents looked at it and were like, what are you doing? All this money I'm spending on these cards. And if they just held on to those collections, like later on, like that I told you so moment to your parents.
If I had my original alpha Magic cards,
like, you know what I mean? Like, where did they go? I don't know. Like my parents, I had so many stories of like people like my grandma, my mom, my dad, whatever, like gave it to the neighbor kid or sold it in a garage sale or whatever.
I know. You let that seep in. You're like, why am I wasting my time?
Yeah.
You're right. Here, take them. Get them out of my hands so I stop getting yelled at. You know, but little did they know that we were all putting in our 10,000 hours. And, you know, I've run games for the guys who created Game of Thrones, and they were dungeon masters growing up. And they're like, running a show in Hollywood it's dungeon mastering.
Yeah,
you know, the guy who created Chernobyl, Last of Us, Craig, we play same thing. I am a dungeon master every day at work.
You've just been training for what you wanted to do since 9 years old.
Without knowing it. It's wax on, wax off.
So cool.
And you get in there and you're like, wait a minute. I know karate.
Right.
I have tangible, I know how to write a script.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe. Definitely join our rewards program. Every single dollar you guys spend goes to a point, and it's free stuff on our website, cashcardsunlimited.com. Where did Magic fit into this? Because I don't even think you and me have really talked about it. Obviously, you reached out to me when you trying to put together the Tiamat deck.
That's right.
And that's, how we connected on a Magic the Gathering kind of playing field. I think that was shortly after you did the Game Nights episode, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think you were a Pittsburgh Steeler at the time.
I was a Steeler at the time, so that crossover obviously made a lot of sense as well.
Wait, there's a Steeler who's also into nerdy shit like that. Wait, I gotta meet this guy. What's going on?
Yeah, no, for sure.
The Foil King? What is this?
So where did Magic actually start from? Because you just said you had a bunch of alpha stuff, so you were in really early, huh?
Right at the beginning. Yeah, I mean, I was always dialed in. I was always in. They didn't necessarily have gaming stores the way that they do now. It was more like you'd have a hobby shop that had like a little section. You had a hobby shop that had like a rack with D&D stuff on it. And they might have like a Magic box,
right?
And I had heard about it, and this is,
so
that's not 93.
It was just a part of like the comic book store, or like the the D&D, like it's just like a small section.
Yeah, and the thing about it, I mean, and as a I was hired to produce and direct the 50th anniversary Dungeons and Dragons documentary, which is a long story, but anyway, we're I am optimistic that I'm going to get to put this thing out. We just, you got to be patient. It's just the company had to go through a bit of a turnaround.
Okay.
It got stuck.
Okay.
And it's been stuck. And hopefully, I think it's going to get unstuck, or at least there are conversations going on right now about unsticking it.
Well, I hope so, man. I would love to see that.
With that said, there is a section in the doc about Magic, because Magic was, the original card art for Magic were a lot of black and white images from the original D&D Monster Manual.
Oh, the like the tester cards?
Tester cards.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. I have a couple of those tester cards.
So, and it was, okay. Yeah, I would figure that.
Well,
that
I like the rare stuff.
Yeah, they're not foil, though.
They're not, but they don't come foil. That's my rule. If they don't come foil, I'll use them. But
imagine, that's what a flex. Yeah.
They kind of go hand in hand. Like D&D, ultimately Magic pretty much came from D&D, right? They're owned by the same.
Well, so that guy Peter Atkinson, who commissioned Magic to be made for his company Wizards of the Coast, he made so much money.
Yeah.
That he bought Dungeons and Dragons was going bankrupt and was in debt.
Okay.
He said, "I'll just take the debt. I'll buy the whole thing cash."
Right.
Took it over Hasbro moved in and saw how much money Magic was making, how much money he had. Pokemon. He started Pokemon cards also.
Yeah. Wizards of the Coast was printing Pokemon cards for a long time too. So those are some of the most classic Pokemon cards.
Yeah, and so Hasbro saw that and they swooped in and said, "We'll buy the whole thing." They weren't really paying attention to Dungeons and Dragons until about 5 years ago.
Right. I feel like 5 years ago is about the time where like nerdy stuff really started to become super popular.
Yeah.
Netflix came out with a statistic that more than half of their viewers, more than half of their users are watching anime.
Watching One Piece.
Probably a lot of them are watching
somewhere in the middle.
But regardless, though, watching anime, which is incredible. You know, back like that there's no way that was 5 years ago.
You got to understand. Like, I'm of a generation where people are like, "Oh, were you into anime growing up?" And it's like, well, what did we have? We had Akira. We had I had Ghost in the Shell. Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah.
And like
Inuyasha.
That's kind of it, man. Yeah, no, I was into it, but it was like it wasn't a genre the way that it is now. You had to go and find physical
like
copies of this thing.
Yeah.
You had to find somebody Japanese who had this thing from Japan.
Right, they brought it over with them. Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, I grew up with a bunch of Asian kids. So my high school, there were actually a lot of like refugees from Vietnam, Korea.
Okay.
And those kids were getting stuff from Asia.
Yeah.
So I had my homies.
So you had the inside scoop before.
They would teach me how to swear in Vietnamese and take me to the Asian Students Association parties and make me like swear in big groups of Vietnamese people. And they'd all be like looking around, you know, and they would never think it was me. You know, you had to know somebody kind of who had roots there to get it. Same with the nerd stuff. Like you couldn't. You were afraid to say you played D&D because it was satanic and dorky.
Yeah.
So you weren't going to say it out loud. Sure. So all the nerds like didn't know who each other were really.
If there was no game, like if it wasn't season, bro, I was at F&M and the boys just thought like I just stayed home every Friday night. But no, I just would disappear. You wouldn't hear from me on Friday. Saturday, Sunday, I'm with the boys. But Friday, never miss Friday Night Magic.
See, I was buying beer for the keg party with the cheerleaders. And you know, all of us in our Letterman jackets, and then like on the weekends or during the summer, especially summertime, I would get up and I would run a clinic for like basketball clinic for the kids because I was the captain, so I'd run the basketball clinic, go lift with the wrestlers, and then I'd run home. And when I get home to my mom's house, there were all these kids on the porch, with their folders, and their bags of dice and stuff, waiting for me.
That's sick.
I'd come in, open the door, they'd go in, start setting up the table, I'd shower, come back down, and we'd run.
They'd be ready to go
every day.
That's so
and if
sick.
a kid went on vacation, then his character would get death touched and go unconscious into a coma. And then while he was gone on vacation, the kids would have to find the Blue Lotus. To bring him back to life. The cure to solve his death touch. And every day parents would let him call before cell phones. Let him call long distance. What happened today? How close are they?
That's so good.
You know, because he's like nervous about his character because he drew the maps of his dojo and all. You know what I mean? Like
so good.
That's how we grew up.
That's so good. That's so good. That's like pure like creativity.
Totally.
That's awesome.
But
man.
also the athleticism
That's the
as well.
right there.
I'm developing. You know, I'm running basketball clinics, playing in summer league.
Well, yeah.
I'm lifting weight. You know, I'm developing this way, but I'm also developing in this completely other way, which is artistic and storytelling.
Yeah, for sure.
And really and truly, like, you know, for me, like, they really merged like True Blood. I mean, it's kind of like a segue. I mean, I want to talk more about magic, but like they kind of segued into that where I'm playing a werewolf. I get to have my shirt off all the time. I get a million fight scenes. So I get to be in peak physical condition. There's a million fight scenes. It's, you know, I'm doing a dialect. My character's from Jackson, Mississippi. So, you know, I'm putting on a, you know.
Yeah, the country twang.
So, and there's a science to that acting wise. It's also a complex role. It's on HBO. The writing's great. I mean, it's a Emmy, Golden Globe winning show.
If you haven't seen it, you guys got to go check it out.
But I'm working with a bunch of, you know, former and current theater actors, and so it was kind of like the combination. All of a sudden, all of those separate lanes that I had as a kid, because I had separate groups of friends.
Right.
The jocks, the nerds, the guys I made movies with. The wrestlers.
Yeah.
And True Blood really felt like I got to wrap that all up into something that like made sense for me.
In the past, I've talked about how Magic the Gathering has been a way for me to decompress from, or it was, especially when I was playing. It was a way for me to decompress from the pressure of being on an NFL team and performing, because it is a performance industry.
Yeah,
it can be tough. Mind you, I loved it. I missed the feeling of that real pressure to be better than the man next to you, and I loved it, and I cherish it. But it's also, no matter how much you like doing it, it can be a lot, and I think Magic and the nerdy stuff have always been a great way for me to just decompress and kind of get away from it, but it also helped me, like the game theory, the game strategy, the creativity, I feel like also fed like my football mind as well, so there's small crossovers. I feel like yours was, really everything came together, but where it really came together for me was how everything that football taught me I use for my business, and then my business is surrounded with everything nerdy, so I get to embrace all of the things that I've always loved, the anime, the trading cards,
Comic books also too.
Comic books have been steady climbing, especially the classic Spider-Mans.
I snatched up a Ninja Turtle #1 recently.
Okay. That would be an amazing Magic the Gathering collab, by the way. Ninja Turtles, I feel like that needs to happen.
For sure.
Yeah. Have you been paying attention to these the universes beyond?
Like, how is, like, I really thought, I don't know, man. I mean, it seemed like a couple of years ago there was like some missteps going on
with the universe beyonds, like they missed.
Yeah, there were some misses, and it kind of seemed
like
people were getting upset, and also especially like secondary market.
They're. I mean, that exists. I don't think that'll ever go away. I think that's just they're just very there's a bit of a gatekeeping culture, and there's a group in the community that is just very salty about Magic becoming more expensive, which I understand, because ultimately you want access to be able to play. So I do.
But you can proxy all you want.
I know. I say the same thing, but
I mean, I have like I have a
you've got
I have a One Piece deck that someone made all foil proxies out of all the pirate cards,
which is cool. And you've got you definitely could afford any Magic card that you really wanted, and yet you still own proxies, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you brought that out
when I played with friends, there were friends of mine in my like COVID pod that I played with, and they would just proxy up decks, based on what they saw on any of the streaming shows.
The point is the game is fun, and the game is dope.
You can play the game no matter. It's that same thing with D&D. It's like the rules, you can do whatever you want with those rules. So to yell at the company is not right.
To yell at I think what I don't understand is being mad at the company for it growing the game.
Growing the game.
It's ultimately been taking off in ways, dude. I get calls from people that I never would have thought were going to call me about Magic the Gathering.
Totally.
It's
fact
eye-opening.
That it had survived long enough from when I had my original deck in '93 to the point where, like, I'm an adult who's kind of like working for Dungeons and Dragons and Wizards of the Coast. Oh, they have Magic. Well, now I'm like shooting infomercials and doing stuff with Magic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they're putting out D&D cards. There's a Tiamat.
Yeah.
Commander. I need to speak to the Foil King.
You've got, bro. You have got all of the that Tiamat deck is spicy,
and
bro.
It's nasty.
People
hate that deck.
Bro. It's
Joe
good.
Johnson went into We were back. We were hanging out.
Yeah.
I came down to Frankensons when the tournament was there.
Okay. Yeah.
And I came into the back.
Right.
We were playing some games in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I played with Tiamat. And I wiped the table 3 games in a row.
Like turn 3, turn 4.
Turn 3, like maybe like a turn 5.
Yeah.
Joe Johnson grabs his folder,
yeah.
his card carrier, starts pulling the Tiamats out, and goes, I never want to see this again, and throws these cards down at me like you can have them.
Take
I
all
don't
the
want to
Tiamats.
even.
Yeah,
and I took all the Tiamats.
Oh, so good, so good.
Because he was so pissed off. I mean, for like months, Joe was trying to beat that deck. It's nasty.
It is, man. And every time you play it, it gives me, even when I lose to it, honestly gives me a little bit of joy because I helped you put
Totally.
it together, you know. And it's just it's a
then,
deck
like,
that's heavily slept on as well.
That's how we met.
You know,
was through that.
Yep,
So,
and developed a beautiful friendship, man.
But the point is, like, Magic's still around and it's still going strong,
So strong and growing in a big way,
and
bro.
growing. And that's the thing, we were talking about the new sets, and it's like, yeah, I mean, you're into Marvel, now you're in it. Yeah, when's Ninja Turtles gonna happen?
Airbender.
Avatar.
If you could, like, so
Yeah.
I think Ninja Turtles is. I haven't thought about that one yet up until just
You could
now.
have the Turtle Commander, Splinter Shredder, Shredder deck.
You got plenty of legendary creatures because you got like the bad guys from Ninja Turtle. You know,
Bebop, Rocksteady. Krang could work with like Warhammer.
Krang could work, yeah,
because he's from an interdimensional. You could try to find ways to work that
100%.
stuff in.
I think you could definitely
The
pull off a full
Mousers,
set.
keep multiple. You have the Mousers. Yeah, okay,
Do
like,
some pizza, like all the, you know, there's culture,
pizza.
there's
Food tokens or
food
pizza.
tokens with the pizza. Yeah, bro. Come on.
Mutagen.
There's
You could mutate and then flip
I think
the
they
card.
would for sure have to bring. I know
You could
a lot
have a
of
little
people
baby
don't-
turtle and you flip it and it turns into Slash.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's just I think
Vehicles.
oh yeah, the you definitely got to
turtle
put
van?
the turtle van in there for sure. You got to put that
The
vehicle in
Technodrome?
there. Yeah.
I gotta call Nickelodeon.
I think you need to make a call for sure. This is kind of how we like to end our
Okay.
our episodes. We're gonna do
Yeah.
rapid fire.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
right.
ask something and
I'll try to
whatever, first
answer
thing that
quickly.
comes to-
Yeah, all right,
exactly.
sure.
All right, Magic or D&D for the rest of your life?
I mean, dude, it's tough, but I mean, I work very closely with Dungeons and Dragons, so I gotta go D&D.
Dream Commander deck theme.
I don't know. I kind of want like a Shredder deck or a Master Splinter. No, I want a Casey Jones deck.
Biggest table flip moment you've had in gaming.
I guest starred on this show called Critical Role, and the players didn't know it, but because of the villain that we were fighting as the final boss, it was a villain who has the power to teleport cities and armies and all this kind of stuff, and all the power is in his hand. So I made friends with them and made them think that I was, I was their friend. We had to kill this guy. He could not take over the universe. We had to destroy the boss.
Yeah.
But what they didn't know is that I had a secondary purpose, and that was once we killed him,
You wanted
I
to say it.
chopped my arm off and replaced it with his undead hand,
Yeah.
and then teleported out with the hand to then go and try to free the goddess Tiamat from, bondage
Right.
in the first plane of hell, as the lore goes. And so they didn't know any of this,
Yeah.
and I had planned it all because it's alive.
Yeah, right.
We could have not beat the bat. We could have not beat
Right, you
Vecna.
guys could have failed, yeah.
Yeah, we could have failed. And then they could have had enough spells left or a spell left to counter spell me before I tried to get out, but they burned that spell. But I had driven around in my car for weeks at night, for hours, just like going through every permutation of
Yeah.
this and that. And what if that happens? And then that one character sold his soul to the Raven Queen and he's going to die. So then, okay, so, so when he's dying, they're actors and they're going to want to play this moment. And they've been waiting the whole season or the whole, 3 years of campaign
Right.
to have this moment where he's dying. And they're probably maybe prepared monologues or something. And in that moment, they're going to be in their head. And I'm like, and then I'm going to get them.
Yeah.
I'm going to get them when they're not.
You were prepared.
Yeah. And they don't know what's going on. And by the time I do my thing, I'm just going to get up and peace out.
Right.
Everything fell into place correctly.
Uh-huh.
And then I had to deliver my speech. There could be no stuttering. You need to get this out cleanly. Bang, cut your arm off and you're out.
Yeah.
And it all went as planned.
Yeah.
And, you can watch the clip and even the Dungeon Master didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And by the time they kind of realized what happened, I'm out. Teleport out. And so that was me going, boom.
Okay, so this is a
Later.
table flipping moment of success. Like,
Yeah.
I just destroyed everybody,
Like,
basically.
Boom.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
there's your villain for
Yeah,
the next
yeah,
campaign. I'm
yeah.
going to go free the Dragon Queen. And I'm also part Vecna, so he's alive running through my body.
Oh yeah.
And it went so, it was such a big deal that, I went to the wedding of the Dungeon Master to one of the girls, one of the players. They got married.
Yeah.
I went to their wedding. there was a line like I was the Godfather.
Yeah, yeah.
They were like the hand of Vecna thing.
They're like,
You know, it was like a line of people just coming to pay respect for this crazy move.
yeah.
And still people talk about it. And then, you know, the next D&D book up, the next adventure book was going to take place in hell where Tiamat is in prison. And I went, well, guess who's there trying to free her now that he has the hand? And they went, do you want to write chapter 3? I go, so absolutely good. I do. So then my character then became part of canon. Then it's like, I got a line of action figures coming out this year. I've sold them all as toys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like
that's amazing.
He became like kind of a thing in that moment. And then now is like alive in D&D. And now I let people play as him.
That's perfect.
As a villain.
That's awesome, bro.
So yeah.
That's see, like when I think of game flipping moments, I think of like somebody pissed you off so bad you just wanted to just ruin the game. But that was way better.
That was me.
That was way better. Yeah. That's the other side of table flipping that like I wish that I achieved a lot more often.
Well, but I watched a lot of players fight with each other at the table too. So I watched that stuff happen all the time.
Yeah,
where they're like, "Shut up, kill you!" You know, like you split the party. My character died. I have like dudes in the foyer of my house. Like, I will beat your ass. You do that again, I'll kill you. If I lose my character, like people.
Oh yeah.
They're in it.
Oh yeah, I'm famous for
you
getting super salty.
You're the saltiest.
I'm the saltiest. I am.
You just dip, man.
I do.
Turn one, like I'm out.
I will, but I accept it about myself. I own it. You know what I mean? I own it.
It's part of your charm.
It's part of. I don't know if it's very charming.
I think it's hilarious.
I think it's funny too.
I think it's hilarious. But then you're just over there salty while we're playing for the next hour.
I am.
And I want to hang, and you're just like in your own world. I'm just angry.
I know. I just
reliving the Marshawn Lynch non-run.
Yeah, exactly.
Over there, you're just
that's exactly what's happening. Yeah,
just
100%.
in the vortex.
Yeah, exactly.
Of
all right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up again.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for bringing that back around.
I'm just trying to get it out of you so we can move past it.
I don't think I'll
maybe
ever
you stop
past
like
it,
dipping on tables and games.
Last question. Any celebrity, living or dead, who would you recruit to your D&D table? Like if ultimate table, what is it? Like 8 players? Is like
that's a lot. I mean,
6.
The books are balanced for 4 players in the Dungeon Master.
Okay.
But I usually run for 6. Number 1 is going to be my little brother Nick.
Okay.
Who's taller than me, but my brother, my kid brother.
Your little big brother.
Yeah, because it's like he was always in every single game that I ran from the time that we were kids.
Be there.
And there's a bit of like older brother, younger brother thing with Dungeon Masters, and I just love running games for my brother. It's gonna start getting weird right now, but I would go with Joseph Campbell, who wrote the book the Hero of 1,000 Faces, who is like kind of famous for kind of documenting the hero's journey. Troy Polamalu.
Yeah,
my dude.
Is that one of your favorite Steeler of all time?
Favorite Steeler, and also like we share a lot spiritually.
Okay.
He's really Greek Orthodox, and my great grandmother is Armenian Orthodox, and so like we have a lot of like really deep like spiritual warrior conversations about stuff. So on a philosophical level, but I also think that he'd play. So there's
he's
that.
Just a dog in general.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Tracy Hickman, who created Ravenloft, and I'd put Margaret Weiss, who is the co-creator of Dragonlance, the novels.
All right.
I was at Disney World, and coming off the Thunder Mountain, I bumped into Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. You know, he is Nine Inch Nails, basically, and he said that over COVID, he was trying to get his kids to play D&D, and since then, I've been trying to get him into a game. He's a busy guy.
Right.
But Trent is definitely in there. I don't know, just to have like Edgar, it'll be like Edgar Allan Poe or like Robert E. Howard or J.R.R. Tolkien, like one of the great fantasy horror writers ever, somewhere in there.
All right.
At the table.
Yeah.
So maybe if we expand it up to 8, I'd have those 3.
Okay. Perfect.
I think that'd be a good, interesting group.
A lot of thought behind that question right there. I like that. I feel like that was a good question.
But really and truly, like, I mean, you guys at the table was so much fun that I would, you know, like that'd be great too.
Oh yeah.
Football.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
The football
I would
game.
Love to do that, bro. I would love to do that. If you put it together, you can count on me being there for sure. I'm so grateful that you came out, man.
Thanks for having
me. I had a ton of fun just chopping it up as always, man.
Yeah.
Grateful for our friendship, man. Such an awesome dude, man. It's great when you know, you're a fan of someone and then you meet them and it's like, yes.
Likewise.
with a guy.
Likewise.
You know, so
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming out, man.
Yeah.
And you know, we'll get a game in here sooner.
Yeah,
or later.
let's we got to play cards.
Yeah, absolutely, my brother.
Right on, man.
Appreciate you.
And for those people that don't know, I had a tiny baby dog sleeping on my lap.
She's like, hey.
Oh, hello. It's
Bubbles
good morning.
is
Sleepy.
absolutely incredible.
Hello.
She's always there.
It's sleepy.
Yeah.
Hello. Sorry. I
The
didn't mean to wake
baby.
you up. All right, she'll go back.
The baby. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, man.
All right, my brother. Before you go, we talked about the One Piece Dodger collab. If you could sign this so that we could give it to somebody who watched the podcast today, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, comment if you want to enter in to win this awesome piece of history right here. It's one of my favorite cards they've released in
Pretty
general, and now it's got your signature on it.
Pretty
you know,
dope.
It's gonna be pretty sick.
That's it. Okay, great. I mean, it would be better if the card had me holding them up by the hook, but
And I think that you should probably get them to release one of those. That'd be pretty sick.
yeah, maybe at a future date.
100%.
That'd be great.
100%. So guys, don't miss out on it. He's gonna sign this, and we'll give it away sometime after this episode drops.
Smash that like button.
Do it.